YouTube. Kevin here, Candy Banana Balls. How you guys doing today? Just real quick, wanted to do a short video on a very popular subject. It seems to be a lot of, I guess, a lot of people that are first-time snake buyers or just a little bit scared of what they just purchased or what they own now. You go to a reptile show or pet store, you think you want to have a ball python. So, you know, in most cases, the pet store owner or the gentleman at the show, he reaches in, he pulls out a snake for you, he holds it for a minute or so, and then he says, do you want to hold it? And of course, you do, but you're a little worried. So yeah, I'll hold it, and you know, the person gives it to you, and you hold it there for a few minutes, and you know, kind of fall in love with the feeling of, oh wow, this is really neat. So you go ahead and you make your purchase, and off you go. They give you some type of a to-go container. You get your reptile home. Hopefully you have everything you need as far as setting it up, whether you're putting it in a tub or an aquarium. And you get the snake into its enclosure, and hopefully you follow the advice that somebody gave you as far as leaving them alone for 7 to 10 days. Let them get acclimated to their environment and their new enclosure. You do all that. Then maybe you offer it a meal. Let's just say it takes the meal, and so you give it another 24 or 48 hours to digest. And now comes the big D-Day. It's been 3 weeks, up to 2 to 3 weeks, since that gentleman gave you that snake and let you hold it for a few minutes. The other thing that happened is you fed it, whether it be a frozen thawed or live reptile, and saw your snake, for the most part, in action, how quick it can strike, how much of a difference you see from something just like this, nice and mellow, to how quickly it reacted and took down its prey and ate. So you're a little bit intimidated now. You saw this, you know, what you want to be gentle animal, you know, kill a living thing, or, you know, bite it and constrict it, and now you're supposed to pick this thing up. I'm a little worried. What do I do now? So I guess that's where, you know, like I said, just a short video, a few tips. If you have that anxiety, you are now to that point where you're ready to pick up this animal and you don't know what to do. You are a little bit afraid. So the first thing I want to tell you is it's okay to be afraid, and it's okay. You're not a sissy or a little girl if you, and no offense girls, but there's nothing wrong with you if you're afraid to pick this animal up. You don't know it. It doesn't really know you. You've got no relationship developed with it. You don't know if it's going to strike. You don't know anything. So just a few quick tips, what to look for, body language. Now if your snake is, let's say, down in its aquarium, and let's just say it's underneath its hide. That's typically where you're going to find it for the most part. You never know if it's sleeping or awake because you can't tell. They don't close their eyes and go to sleep. So you could be startling it by, you know, picking up the hide and removing it, stuff like that. So remember that when you're doing this. But let's say your snake is in its hide. So you remove the lid, you take everything off, you gently lift the hide off the snake. It's okay. Put on a pair of gloves if you're worried, or a sweatshirt. If you know, are concerned that this thing, you know, could strike out while you're holding it or picking it up, put on a pair of, you know, winter style gloves, something you could still handle the snake without fear of dropping it, but something that gives you this feeling of protection that, you know, if it does strike, you're going to be okay. What you want is confidence when you're picking it up. That's the biggest thing. Always go, let's just say it's sitting in like this. Always go behind the head. Never wave anything in front of the face. That's where, you run into a problem. That's where a snake could very easily mistake it for feeding time, or startle it and scare it, and it strikes out in a defensive mechanism. Usually, most snakes that are used to being handled will react as soon as they feel you, picking them up from behind. Usually automatically go into a relaxed or handling motion where it's not going to be coiled up and trying to strike. So remember that. Always go somewhere on the back side of the snake, away from the head, behind it, not waving anything in front of the face. And like I said, if you want to do gloves and a sweatshirt, do it. There is much more negative results are going to happen if you freak the snake out by reacting to its movements based on your fear. If you pick this thing up and you're jittery and afraid, and it makes a sudden movement and you drop it, or almost toss it away from you, you're afraid this thing's biting you, not only could it injure your snake. These snakes are heavy bodied. They may seem like muscle packed strong animal, which they are, but even a short fall can injure these snakes very terribly. The ribs, these are very fragile animals to a point. Even a drop of 3-4 foot could easily cause significant damage to your snake. You don't want that. Not on top of that is the relationship that you're trying to build with this animal. Now you've dropped it, and now this snake is going to be afraid anytime you're coming near it that it's going to be hurt or injured. So that's not how you want to start this adventure off. You want to get yourself, like I said, if you're worried, get the gloves, get the sweatshirt on, go in there with confidence. When you're picking up the snake, don't grab and squeeze. Firmly pick up the snake, a decent grip, but not squeezing the body of the snake. Same thing with the head. The heads are very sensitive on these animals. They are, by design, by nature, protective of their head. Anything that comes near it, if they bump it, if you bump it, they generally jerk and pull their heads back and try to protect their heads at all times. That's why they are called a ball python and ball up, to protect their head. So when you're holding them, moving them around, be careful not to bump them in the nose, hit their heads, because that's when they're going to have that quick reaction, which in turn could startle you into doing something you don't want to do. So be careful of the head. Always, anywhere here back, they're usually not, they usually don't react to that. But if you get anything on the head, the nose, right around the eyes, any kind of a touch or gentle brush, even if they accidentally brush up against you when you're moving them around, they tend to react to that. So remember that, be conscious of that, and try not to do anything around the head that's going to startle the snake and in turn startle you. Another area that they don't usually like to be fidgeted with, and this seems to be older snakes, is right around their tail, or where their bits and pieces are, where they go to the bathroom. They typically don't like you messing around there too much. Most are tolerant, but I guess what I'm getting at is, don't grab by the tail, don't hold it up by the tail. You want to hold the body of the snake. It's best to hold it with 2 hands. Obviously, the different size of snake depends greatly on how much or where you support it at, but try to support it, the front part of the body and also the rear part of the body when you're handling it. These snakes are very muscular and can, you could hold it from one point and they could, maneuver and be fine that way, but they're going to feel a lot safer, and you're going to be a lot safer of a handler as holding this snake with both hands as much as possible. Obviously, depending on the snake's position, one hand is fine because it's coiled around, it's supported well. But in the main, if you have it stretched out, and it's, fairly long of a snake, not a little hatchling, try to support it with 2 hands. You're going to be better off there. What else? I mean, that's pretty much it. Like I said, the main thing is you. Your confidence, and your confidence will build once you get a little bit of relationship with your animal. You're going to know then body language, how it's acting. You're going to know that your snake means you no harm and you mean it no harm. And once you build that relationship, you'll feel a lot more confident handling the animal. Don't be afraid at first. Like I said, the gloves, the sweatshirt, whatever it takes, get you used to it. And I'm telling you, within 1 time, 2 times of that, you are going to have all the confidence in the world picking up your animal. There's nothing to it. 99% of these animals are very docile, very easily handleable. Just like anything, there are exceptions to the rule. Some get a little bit fussy for different reasons. But for the most part, these guys are great pets. They're amazing, the different morphs you can get. It's just an amazing hobby to be a part of, and these animals are very fun to own. So thanks for checking in today. Just a quick video on handling your snake for the first time. Confidence, and don't be afraid. On here, we're going to get into a little bit of everything on this channel as far as ball pythons go. We're doing breeding, handling, nutrition. We breed rats, ASF rats, and regular rats. So we'll cover pretty much everything that you need to know as a first-time snake owner, or an intermediate snake owner or breeder. We're going to cover all that stuff together. So be a part of it, learn together, see how breeding works, see the trials and tribulations, so to speak, and enjoy it with me. Like and subscribe. Please come along the journey. The more we have, the better of a journey it'll be. So thanks again, guys, and appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great day. Like and subscribe. Thanks again. Kevin here, Candy Banana Ball, signing out. Have a great one.